and y'all can sit there like a bump on a log and not ask questions. Now, I've got a bunch of questions. They're all from 3.2, so I think if you'll look, all these are questions from 109. Also got some 110 questions in there because 110 they've started to communicate about a week ago. All right, so I'm getting there. Some of y'all are still fighting it, but I'm getting there. Eventually, by the time we get to Unit 3, you'll be communicating. All right, so let's start just from the top. Let's start here, and this is 3.2, number 87/26. 87/26. Okay, this one is, I would say this one is a calculator question. All right? Why would I say it's a calculator question?
Big numbers.
Because it's big numbers and it's also very small numbers with the decimals. So get your calculators out. We're going to do this one by the calculator, and I have no idea what it's asking. But if this came to you on a test, which it's not, because I'm going to ask you all complete and square questions. If this came to you on a test, you would use your calculator. If not, I'll show you how to start it. And the first thing I would do to start it is multiply through by 100. Now that's going to give you some BA numbers, but I would rather deal with BA numbers than very small decimals because you then have to use the calculator. So, with that being said, I'm going to pull up the handy dandy calculator. And it'll take me probably a long time to actually type it in because the way it is on this screen. I'm going to try to do it. No coughing in class. Negative, let's see, y is equal to negative 0.37 x squared plus 37.46x plus 5901.77. And graph. Now, of course, it's not going to graph where it's supposed to because you've got a y-intercept of what? Dang old 5,900. So you're going to have to carry your y from 0 to 6,000 at least. Okay? So let's carry it from 0 to 6,000. Go to dang old window. And I don't really care. I'm going to, just for giggles, I'm going to go negative 100 to positive 100 because I have no idea what the x looks like. And I'm going here from 0 to, what I say, 6,000?
6,000.
Now graph it and see what it looks like. Okay, now we get some indication of what it looks like. Now you can zoom out. And this is the quickest way because I don't really like the window. So I just go up and then I know that it's going down. I see part of it. Look in the top right-hand corner. Does everybody see the top right-hand corner? There's a little dip of it. So I'm going to go over right here, and I think I should be able to get it. And there is your parabola. Now, once you've done that, you can go to Zoom, Window. I'm a CAD person. I grew up on CAD. Zoom box, same thing. And I'm going to put the top left-hand corner right about there. And why do I want to get the x-intercept? Because the question is probably going to ask for the solutions. And solutions is a pinky word for intercept, x-intercepts. So there is what you need. Okay, now once you get your, where's your calculator? You're a loser. Okay, so college algebra student don't have a calculator. All right, so you got three things you want. Well, you already got the y-intercept. The y-intercept's right here, 5901. So if you get the y-intercept wrong on this test, you don't what?
Don't tell anybody.
You don't tell anybody. There's two things you should not miss on this test. What are they? The domain and the y-intercept. If you miss either one of those, you don't tell anybody because that'll hang a sign around your neck that says, I'm non-sentient. All right. So, some of y'all don't even know what that means. But anyway, now I'm going to hit second calculate, or second trace, and let's find the left x-intercept. I'm going to hit the 0 right there, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put the left bound right below the x-axis. If you'll look, see the x, the little cursor? I'm going to put it right below the x-axis, right there. And put it right above the x-axis. Do you have to do this? No. What does it do? It narrows the search down for the processor and the calculator. That's all it does. And hit enter with a guess, and somebody write that down. Negative 85.44 and 0. That's your left x-intercept. Now we're going to go find the right intercept. Negative 85.44, that's the left one. And then I'm going to hit second trace, and I'm going to go over to the right. And it's asking for the left, so the left at this time is going to be above the x-axis. So I'm going to put it right there. It doesn't matter where you put it. Okay, well, I must have hit something else. Second trace, 0. I must have hit the wrong thing. All right, there's the left bound, and then the right bound will be right below it, and that just narrows it down to this area right there. All right, write that one down, 186.69, 186.69. So you've just found the solutions. Hold your pinky up, that means solutions, or hold your pinky down, it's called x-intercepts. All right, so that's that. So what else can we find? The what? The what? I found the x-intercepts. We know the y-intercept.
The vertex.
Vertex, which is also, write this down, the vertex max or the min, depending on if it's opening up or opening down. Okay? So what is this one? Is this a max or a min since it's opening downward?
Max.
The max. It's your maximum point. Think of it as a hilltop. Okay? Hilltop is the max. Bottom of the bowl is the min. So the vertex can be both of those. So I'm going to zoom back, or I messed up my zoom. So I'm going to, oh Lord, it started doing this. Okay. Let me go to, okay, I'm fixing to quit. Zoom. What the? Okay, this thing's going crazy. Y'all know what it is, don't you? Not just the Russians, it's the damn Russians. They're going to beat you up and throw you in a van and make you vote for somebody you don't want to vote for. Zoom out. Yeah, how ridiculous does that sound, really? All right, I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what the Democrats do to you. They load up all the undocumented or old people.
Undocumented? They dadgum sign up the dead. Anyway, I'm going to shut up.
They do.
I know Mickey Mouse has voted in the last 5 elections. All right, so here we go. Second trace. And what am I going to call it? The maximum. It really doesn't matter which one you pick, because the calculator is going to use your left and right in your guess. So it really doesn't matter if you pick maximum or minimum. Does everybody understand that? I'm going to pick minimum. And I'm going to give a left, and I'm going to give a right, and I'm going to give, and somebody write the vertex down. 77.37 and 6585.28. Now, let's see what the question is asking now that y'all have written down everything. Well, I'll tell you what, let me do this. Because I'm going to ask y'all for something and y'all not going to tell me because y'all don't talk. So that's a very smart way to go through life. Let me go here. Well, where's the whiteboard? The whiteboard is gone. So the Russians done took my whiteboard. They threw it in a van.
Your whiteboard's going to vote.
Huh?
Whiteboard's going to vote in the next election.
Yeah, the white women too. They gonna mess up the white women. The white women's gonna mess up everything.
Have
They
you seen all
do
those
what
YouTube ads?
they do what their husbands tell them to do.
The dang YouTube ads? It's like kids out like taking selfies. Some guy walks up and he's like, "Have you voted? 911? They didn't vote."
Well, white women, they destroyed the last election. All right, so I'm going to draw tell that Texas. Anybody watch the Texas rally last night? There was over 30,000 people in the stadium, and then there was like 15,000 outside watching it on jumbotrons. Obama had one at the same time. He had 2,000 people show up. But there's going to be a blue wave. All right. Talk about denial. All right, here we go. What is this? Somebody give me that. It's negative what? 80 what?
Negative 85.44.
That's good enough for government work. And then over here, dang old, what is it?
186.69.
And then the vertex?
77.37 and 85.28.
Okay, now why did I just do this? I just showed you basically what you should be looking at for your answers, okay? That they're not going to ask you too many questions that doesn't involve these 4 points, okay? Now, is this a business question, yes or no? Yes, it is a business question. It was asking about sales or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sales means business for those that don't know, okay? Sales, demand, supply, cost, that means business. All right, so we want to concentrate basically on what quadrant?
Right.
The first quadrant, because the first quadrant means everything's positive and you're not losing money. Okay? So, I'm going to pretty much focus on these 3 points because that's probably what they're going to ask. Because if you're over here and you're the president of this corporation, you suck. Why? Because you're in the negative. You're not only losing money, but you're not producing as many as you're supposed to, and you're losing money at the same time. So I don't know what company you could, what company really sucks. I don't know of any that survived that really suck. Have to name a company that lasted for about 2 weeks.
I don't know what I did, but when I did like the maximum, I got 50. I didn't get 77.
Well, I did. Let me check it again. Second.
I'm probably doing something wrong, but
Well, I'll check it again for you. I'm going to check maximum. And left bound is there. And the right bound is there. And now it's saying 50. Okay, my bad. I must have done something wrong. Did anybody else get 50? That's when all the class goes, yeah, I got it. Why don't you say something? I don't know. I don't communicate. I just sit here like a DA. Nobody raise their hand and say, you're talking about me, okay? I'm just saying that in general, okay? So it should be 50.62. Thank you, Miss Dean, for communicating.
I thought I was.
No, you're not. I was wrong. You're not going to hear that very often because I'm a white male and I'm perfect. 9-1. I beat my women and tell them who to vote for. 50.62 and 6849.91. All right, my bad. All right, now, somebody tell me what the y-intercept was. I don't have it in front of me.
Shoot.
Did y'all not write the equation down on your paper? 5901 point what?
77.
Okay, so there's your 4 points. Now, everybody write that down in the notebook because that, I have no idea what the question is asking yet. We're going to go back to it, but I really don't see what else they could ask for. I really don't think they're going to ask for anything unless they ask for the solutions. I doubt they would ask for this, but we'll leave it on there. And I need y'all to write it down, so when I go to the questions, y'all won't sit there, well, y'all gonna do that anyway. Y'all won't sit there and not say anything. So, let me get out of this and go back to the question. The model predicts the world population will first reach 66.59 million in the year what? Well, 65 is going to be somewhere in here. See? So we need to find 60. Is that the vertex or what? I don't know. 66.59? That's not the vertex, is it? No. So they're asking you to find in the trace 66.59. That's going to be your y. So we need to find 66.59. Or you could set it equal to what? To 0, or I'm going to show you a trick I learned in the war. 66.59. Take it back to the handy dandy calculator and type in what? 66.59, Hubert. Because that's going to make a straight line. And it's going to cross right there. So now we're going to blow that up. Zoom, window. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to pull that up so we can look at it. I think it's the vertex, but y'all just didn't say nothing. But we'll look at it.
Little.
You have a work email.
There's our... No, it ain't. It's close. Now you got to find the intersection. Now, what else could you do to find the intersection? If you didn't have a handy-dandy calculator, what could you do? We've talked about this.
Plug it in there.
Set it equal to y, Hubert? Yeah, that's right, class. You set it equal to y. So you plug in 66.59 for what? For y, Hubert. That's right. Good job. Y'all should be answering the question right after I ask it, not 15 minutes later, okay? That's called a delay. There we go. Now, I want you to set this one equal to 66.59. If you don't have a calculator, that's how you do it. Remember how we find, where do we find the intersection of two lines? What did I tell you to do? Let them equal to what? Each other. Set them equal to each other, right? We went over that, right? So, we've got two equations. Y is equal to 66.59 and y is equal to this. So I'm going to set them what? Equal to. So here we go. 66.59 is equal to negative 0.37 x squared plus 37.46 plus 5901.77. Well, this is going to be a cluster. So let's see what happens. 0 is equal to negative 0.37 x squared plus 37.46. Somebody take 5901.77 and minus 66.59. What do you get? It's going to be negative. 5901.77 minus 66.59. Okay, negative 700 and what? 57.23. Did everybody get that?
Yes.
Okay, now you can now you can complete the square. Yeah. Or you can use the calculator. But that's where you would go. And the first thing I would do is multiply everything by 100. And that would give me 0 equals negative 37 x squared plus 3746 minus 75723. That's the first thing I would do if I was going to solve it with completing the square. So that's going to be negative 37x squared plus 3746 plus blank is equal to 75, 723. I'm going to factor out a negative. So negative 37, and that's going to give me x squared minus 3746 over 37 plus blank is equal to 75,723 plus negative 37 times blank.
You have a work email.
And if you want to work with that, knock yourself out. I'm going to use a calculator. So, I'm going to hit second. Well, let me get my handy dandy cursor. I'm going to hit second, trace, intersect. And I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go ahead and just put, okay, first curve, yes, yes. And then my guess is right there. All right, somebody write that down. 28 years, and Y is 66.59. So write down 28 years. I'm not going to fool with no decimal years. If they want to fool with decimal years, that's fine, but we're not going to fool with decimal years. So that's 28 years from so-and-so, so-and-so. Now let's go to the other side. Second, trace, intersect. And I'm going to go over here. I hope everybody can see what I'm doing, or do follow along on your calculator. And hit enter, enter, and I'm going to hit right there, 73 years. So the first one was how many years? 28 years and 73 years. So this one is 28 years, and this one is 73 years. Chances are it's going to ask for this one, because what is your population doing? It's going up, and then it's what? Coming down. So that means that your years are what? Progressing. So this year right here is probably what they want, because it's progressing. I don't think they want to go back, but we'll look at it and see what it says. See if I can work the, let me just do this. All right, what does it say? It says the model predicts the world population, okay, will first reach 65 million in the year. Well, I think X is number is a year after. Somebody take 1990 and add, how many years? 20 what? 28? Somebody tell me what year that is.
28.
20 what? And look at there. Where does it fall? It falls right there between 2000 and 2025. Okay, now look on the other side. Somewhere in here, it's going to hit, what is it, 65, 66? Where's 66? 66 is going to be right in here, isn't it? So that's going to be 1990 plus, what is it, 73? Somebody give me that year.
2063.
2000 what?
63.
I heard 3, I think it was breaking up. Okay, so there's your two answers. Now, is this a good test question? This is a good test question based on a calculator. I would not give you this question on a handwritten, I'd give it to you as a test question on a online test, but I wouldn't give it to you as a completing the square, because I don't want to know if you can work your calculator. I want you to know if you can do basic math with completing the square. So I'm going to type in 2018, and I feel good about myself, so I don't have to carry around a water jug full of water. And that's it? It's not going to ask you for the other one? It's just asking you for the first one? Okay. Well, now you know how to get both of them. So in 2063, hopefully Tri-County Tech will be technology savvy, and the population will be whatever, 65, 59 million. And by then, Maybe we'll get training on these Epson computers, these Epson projectors. Question. Good question. Whoever sent it, that's a very good question. It's not a dumb question, it's a good question. Cancel. Now let's go to the second question. Here's another question.
Oh, yeah.
Signed out. Golly, what a surprise. Since I'm the only teacher that uses email in their class. Bass backwards. All right, which one was it? Was that one? No, I think I got another one coming in. That's good. We'll go to that one. Let's go to that one now. Oh, that's 9.3. That's 111. Oh my gosh, my trig class is sending me questions. Oh wow. 109. This is 3267/21. Mr. Butler, where you is? Which campus you on? Must be an online student, huh?
Pendleton.
All right. I'm very. Now be careful. Watch your back when you go out in the hallway, because they're gonna beat your butt for communicating with me. The total revenue function for the product is given by blah blah blah, and the total function. What are we gonna do with these two things? Set them equal to what? Set them equal to each other, because you're trying to find the flexibility region, or the, what is it called, viscosity region, or whatever they call it in dang old economics. It's where the supply and demand dang old meet. You got one going this way, you got one going this way. This is called the viscosity region, okay? That's where everybody is happy and warm and fuzzy, okay? The people that want the product and the people that's what? Selling the product. Yes, that's a good class. All right? So that's what you're looking for. And that region is depicted upon that intersection point. So, dang old beautiful mind. You got to find where they daggum intersect. So, 360x is equal to 6,000, which they have it written bass backwards. I don't know why they do that. 40x plus x squared. So, first of all, you need to bring that 360 over, and that's going to be, I'm just going to rewrite the whole thing. X squared plus, what is, wait a minute, what's 40 minus 360?
320.
Thank you for the communication. And plus 6,000 is equal to 0. Somebody check and make sure I did my math right. The x squared is going to stay positive, and the 6,000 is going to pay. Basically all I did was, this is a teeter-totter, I'm sorry, seesaw, and I brought this over here, and I brought all this over here, and then I subtracted, so it should be the same, okay? So we can use what with this? We can use completing the square, because this is going to be simple math. Well, a little bit. The 320, what is 320? That'd be what? 160? 160 squared is going to be a BA number, but it'll take care of that 6,000. So let's go ahead and do it. You might need your calculator for one or two steps. So x squared minus 320x plus blank is equal to negative 6,000 plus blank. Half of 320 is, what I say, 160? 160 squared is what?
Oh.
320 divided by 2, square it, which is 160 squared, which is what? Okay, and down. You went 25,000 to 25,600. Enunciate. I had somebody come to my office the other day for pre-advising. This is how they knocked on the door. I ignored them. Second time. I ignored them. What do you think the third time? I said, there you go. That's how you knock a door. They gonna talk.
Yeah, I
You
get
think
that.
them phones are killing y'all's generation. Y'all know that? 25,600. Y'all dadgum walk into water fountains. Y'all don't talk to anybody. And when you come to somebody's door, you do this. And I talk about you and you don't say a word. Just don't go to Paris Island, okay? That's all I ask. Don't go to Paris Island. All right, so let's take this and let's move this over here. I'm going to move it up here. There we go. All right, now what? Now shortcut number what? Shortcut number 2. That's going to give us x minus 160. Somebody check me. Quantity squared is equal to, ooh, this is a VA number, negative 6,000 plus 25,600. I ain't even going to try it. What is it? I suck at subtraction. Huh?
19,600.
Okay, I appreciate you interacting, but it's breaking up. Can you do it one more time?
19,600.
It is amazing. I heard every word of that one. Good job. Now, take the square root. What's your vertex? 160 comma negative what?
19,000.
Okay, so that's your vertex. And we know this is opening upward, so it looks like it's in the what? Fourth quadrant, and it's opening upward. So that means it's going to be, oh, that's the, okay, we don't need that. We don't need that because this is asking set equal. I'm sorry. Okay, now we got to find where they're equal to each other. So take the square root, and that's going to give us x minus 160 is equal to positive or negative what?
Work email.
What is the square root of 19,600?
140.
140 exactly. Ain't that nice? X is equal to positive or negative 140 plus what?
160.
Okay, so 140 plus 160 is what? Dang on, 300?
Yep.
And negative 140 plus 60 is what?
20.
20. So this thing's crossing at 2 places. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our handy dandy calculator and we're going to draw it so we can see what it looks like. I hope it crosses in 2 places. There's our handy dandy calculator. And we're going to hit y is equal to, oh gosh, let's go up here and do it. That's going to be x squared. So x squared, and go over, and I done lost it, plus 320x. Now, where is the original? Can't see it.
Plus 6,000.
Plus 40x. Plus 40x. What's the next one? What's the next part? That's all right, I'll do it.
Plus 6,000.
Thank you. Plus 6,000. And then the next part is our 360x. So I'm going to put in 360x and graph. It has what?
It had the 6,000 here.
Okay, let me get that off. Okay. I don't like this calculator. I like the TIA. A lot less cumbersome. 6,000 squared. See, it won't even. There, how's that? Damn brushes. I said delete. Oh. 40,000 plus 3,000. Still got thrown it. Hold on a second. Sorry. All of a sudden we decided to go into dadgum. And I'm going to hit zoom. Just going to hit standard because I have no idea what it looks like. Well, we got to change the window. I'm sorry. The 6,000. So I'm going to go with the standard negative 100, negative 100 to 100, and then I'm going to go from 0 to 7,000. Graph. And of course, now we can zoom out. Enter. And I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to just zoom right in here. And of course, you start to see, there's where you start to see one intersection point. And then I'll zoom out again. And I'm just going to go up here in the middle, right in here. Might want to go down here because I don't want to lose the other one. Okay, so anyway, you've got a graph that looks like this, and it's way the heck up here, and you've got a line that looks something like that. Is everybody with me?
Yep.
And I have no idea what it's going to ask for next, but let's see what it's asking for. Form the profit function for this product from the two categories. What is the profit when 11 units are produced and sold? Oh, well, I just gaffed up the whole thing. It's really just asking you to plug in what? To plug and chug. Sorry. The total revenue, so that's the revenue, and this is the cost. So you might want to, if you want to find the revenue, form the profit function. I think I just did with setting them equal to each other. I don't know. What is the profit when 11 units are produced and sold? Then you'll plug 11 into X and you'll solve. What is the profit when 28 are sold? And okay, here's the break even right here. That's where they equal to each other, right there. D is what I did. Okay. So what is A? Did anybody plug it in?
It's just x squared minus 320x plus 6,000.
That's all they want? They just want you to recite it?
I guess.
I thought they wanted you to plug it in, but they want you to plug it in for X, the 11 for X. I'm not going to type all that in. That, to me, that's really redundant. I thought it would be set equal to each other. My gosh, that's all they want you to do? Or did they go ahead? Okay, they went ahead and solved it right here. That function right there. When I solved it for, here it is, x squared minus 320x, what? Plus 6,000 should be the answer. Or minus 6,000 right there.
Yeah.
There it is. It's right there. Why did they get a negative?
They moved the 320x.
Oh, they moved it over. Okay. So you can do either. You can keep the variable positive or you can leave it negative, either one. So that's that. And then the next one, they're going to plug in. You're going to plug in 11 for that. So that's going to be 11 squared and then minus 6,000 plus 320 times 11. And then you're going to do 28. And then you're going to set them equal to, and then you're going to graph that. Find that question right there should be how many units must be sold to break even on this product. That should be either what did we say it was, 20 or 300, but I don't know what they're going to ask for. Somebody plug 11 into that formula. That's going to be 121 minus some number plus 6,000. What do you come up with? The negative would be loss, of course, and the profit would be plus. So 11 squared is 121 minus 320 times 11. So it's going to be positive because it's going to be 3,000. I mean, it's going to be 121 minus 320 times, what does it come up with? It's going to, it looks like to me it's going to be a profit. It's going to be positive.
Negative 2,359.
Oh, it's negative? Okay.
Well, it should be
Loss of what?
2,359.
Okay. Unless you plugged in something wrong, I'm going to just go ahead and hit the answer. 2,601. Did somebody get that? Okay. You just punched in something wrong. 2 people here got it, so that's okay. Just do it again. All right, now plug in 28 units. Plug in 28 units. That'd be 28 squared minus 320 times 28 plus 6,000. Positive or negative?
Negative.
Is it negative?
Negative.
Negative, and what's the number?
2,176.
2,176?
Yes.
Okay, didn't like that either.
What is that? Get it correctly? No. Oh, it's a profit. Sorry.
Okay,
It's
so,
the right
so it's a
amount.
positive. Okay. There we go. All right, the number of units, that should be 20 and 300, but I don't know which one they want. I would say the 300, but because you're on your way up, I would say the 300, but
They
I
want
don't
both.
know. What?
They want both.
They want both 20, 300. Well, I thought I typed it in. There it is. Okay, now, what type of question is this? Is this a test question for Thursday? No. Is this a test question for an online test after Thursday? Yes. Okay, because the first thing I want you to be able to do is complete the square. The second thing I want you to be able to do is work your calculator, all right? But the calculator, y'all been beat over the head with the calculator so much in high school, I'm not worried about you knowing how to do this problem on the calculator, okay? Because some of y'all were on the calculator drill team when you were in high school, all right? You know, twirling it around on your finger like a basketball. So I'm not worried about that. So is this a test question for Thursday? No. Is it a test question for after Thursday? Yes. So that means you're going to have 2 unit test, 2 unit 2 test. So, but we don't need to worry about that right now. We just need to worry about what? Learning how to complete the square, which some of y'all don't know how to do. All right, the next one, I think this one was sent. Okay, that one, this one. 3.2. 43/14. This is a test question for Thursday. So write it down. I know it says calculator, but I want you to be able to do this one on paper. So 2x squared plus 2x minus 40 is equal to 0. Notice I have said in several instances, use your calculator, haven't I? So you can't say I'm anti-calculator. I'm pro common sense and pro using your brain. I'm not against using a calculator. If you break your leg, who in here has broken their leg before?
Broke the foot.
Okay, how long did you lay up? At Pendleton right there on the left? What?
6 weeks.
Okay, when you took that cast off, could you walk on it?
Not right away.
Did you run the 40 in 4.2 seconds?
No, sir.
Why?
I wasn't healed yet properly.
Or
I wasn't
it
strong
hadn't
enough.
been what?
Haven't been exercised.
Your leg has not been used.
Yes, sir.
If your brain is not used, what does it do? It doesn't function. Okay? If your brain is rested, and what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about you being a vegetable. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the problem-solving process of your brain. If you don't use the problem-solving process of your brain every day, you're going to be drooling all over yourself by the time you're 60 years old. All right? I'm serious. That problem-solving process has to be used over and over and over. If you are on the calculator drill team in high school for 4 years, then you're one of those people that sit at the cash register and can't make change when somebody gives you 56 cents. And heaven forbid, when you get 60 years old, you are going to be drooling all over yourself. All right? You need to keep using that part of the brain, the common sense, problem-solving part of your brain. And I guarantee if you're going into business and economics, you're going to be using it, unless you just want to suck at it. So, 2x squared plus 2x plus blank is equal to 40 plus blank. Now, what am I going to do to get rid of that 2 in the front? Factor it out.
Factor.
So remember to FOCT, do not pronounce that. I'm going to factor out 2, and that's going to give you x squared plus 1x plus blank is equal to 40 plus 2 times blank. All right, now what's 1 divided by 2?
Half.
1/2. So I'm going to go over here. 1 divided by 2 and square it. And that's going to give you 1/4. So I'll put a 1/4 here and a 1/4 here. Now, since we are dealing with a fraction here, I'm going to go slow and I'm going to do everything step by step because I know, like I said, y'all are used to dealing with the little idiot box to do everything for you. So I'm going to go slow here. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. I'll put it up here, right there. And I'm going to write this step out next. Now, first of all, you need to realize what I did here. There's the 1. You take that b, divide it by 2, and square it. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to put b divided by 2, square it. I heard a zipper go off. Fetish, is it time for zipper fetish? No, it's not. So that's how I got 1/4. Now I'm going to go 2, and that's going to be shortcut number 1. Shortcut number 1, and that's going to be x plus 1/2 quantity squared is equal to, I'm going to put a baby step in here, 40 over 1 plus 2 over 4. Now, you can leave the 4 or you can reduce it. I don't care. But I'm going to reduce it because that's what most of you will do. X plus 1/2 quantity squared is equal to 40 over 1 plus 1 over 2. Now I've got to get a common denominator. If you have to leave, you go ahead and leave. I'm sorry. Okay? 40 over 1 plus 1 over 2. And that's going to give you 2 times x plus 1/2 quantity squared is equal to, I got to make that a 2 because I've got to have a common denominator. And a lot of people are saying, well, why are you doing that? Because I've had about 3 people tell me that they need for me to put the baby steps in there when it comes to fractions. Okay? Those 3 people that communicated with me. Okay? So that's why I'm doing it. 1 will go into 2 how many times? 2 times 40 is 80. So now that's going to give us 2 times x plus 1/2 quantity squared is equal to 81 over what?
4.
What'd you say? I'm sorry. Do you have a question?
4. No, it's 81 over 4, isn't it?
It will be.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it will be. I'm ahead.
Yeah. Can I be in charge for a while? Yeah. No, that's a joke. I was kidding. You're one of those white males that tell their women who to vote for, aren't you? All right. So now I can rewrite that. I can rewrite that as f of x is equal to 2 times x plus 1/2 quantity squared minus 81 over 2. Now the only reason I do that is because sometimes they ask you to put it in that form, and you need to remember to put it in that form. But I don't really care. This is negative 1/2 and negative 81/2. So the vertex is negative 1/2 and negative 81/2. And our y-intercept is negative 40. Now you just got to find the what?
X-intercept.
Have y'all noticed anything? This is like the 20th problem we've done. After you do about 20 problems, what do you start to notice?
Patterns.
You start to notice the patterns. You're starting to notice the methods. You're starting to see that it gets what? Easier. Okay? Starts to get easier. But why are people still having problems? Because they've never seen it before. The people that have never seen this before, you're kind of like back, starting the race back in 5th or 6th place. You're not starting with the people that have seen it before. The people that have seen it before are up there at the starting line. They just got to remember, the people that are not getting it as fast are the people that are back about 5th or 6th place. Either you haven't had math in 500 years, which some of y'all think is 500 years, but it's like been 6 months. Or you didn't have a teacher to teach you completing the square, or you were taught completing the square, but you had other more important things to do. Okay? So one of those 3 things, if you're still having trouble, it's normal. I teach this stuff, I've been teaching it. It's very normal for a high school student or a college student that's been in high school to come through completing the square and totally be dumbfounded. And totally ask questions. All right, so now I'm going to find my x-intercepts. So I'm going to divide by 2. Here's another baby step. 2 over 1 x plus 1/2 squared equals 81 over 2. I'm going to divide by 2 over 1. Divide by 2 over 1. That goes out. I'm left with x plus 1/2 quantity squared is equal to, when I divide a fraction by fraction, I multiply by the what?
Reciprocal.
The reciprocal, which gives me 81 over what? 4. At what point, what do you say at this point? All right, I know this is right. Why?
Amen, brother.
Because
it's all perfect.
You got 81 over 4, you got perfect squares, and you're saying to yourself, either I've done something incredibly wrong, or this is turning out really right. Okay? So take the square root of both sides. You're going to get x plus 1/2 is equal to positive or negative 9 over 2. X is equal to positive or negative 9 minus 1 over 2. 8 over 2 is what?
4.
And negative 10 over 2 is?
Negative 5.
All right, now sketch the graph. And I have no room to sketch the graph. So I'll go up here and sketch it. I'm going to sketch it in red so you can see it a little bit better, even though I hate writing in red. So negative 40 is way the heck down here. Our vertex is negative 1/2. That'll be right there. And heck, negative what? 40. Somebody help me out. 40 and 1/2. Yeah, Hubert.
Yeah.
Thank you, class.
It's barely away from the line or so.
Okay. And 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey! I believe I got this one a little bit too wide. Because it's supposed to be skinny because of the 2. Oh, I know why. Because I've only got a short Y. That Y is really not where it's supposed to be. That Y is supposed to be down there around the bottom of the daggum screen. Now, what is the 25-cent, what is the redneck term for solutions? X what? Intercept. So it's asking for the x-intercepts. So x-intercept is negative 5 and 4. Somebody tell me why I said negative 5 first. Because I read which way? Left to right.
Right.
Comma. 4. And we feel good about ourselves.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On the pretest where it was like square root of 22,
Yeah.
And what was that? How do you work that out?
I'll be glad to answer that question. Hold on just a second. Let me go to my handy dandy white screen. And I don't mean this to sound, I'm not being a smart aleck or a smart aleck. You got to use a little bit of common sense. Okay? And what I mean by that, when you go and take the square root of 22, remember, what are we doing to these graphs? We're what? Sketching. Now, when I tell you to sketch a graph, you just use a little bit of common sense on the square root. The square root of 22 is between the square root of what? 16 and the square root of what? 25, right? Everybody with me? Now, we don't know where it is, so we got to find out where it is. Now, this is what you practice in your head when you're completing the square. All these questions, these 25 questions that we've done, you should be picking up on this, all right? 16 is 4. 25 is what? 5. So the middle between here is what? 4.5. So we need to find out what the square root in the middle is. So we use, this is what's called interpolation. Interpolation is finding the middle of the middle of the middle of the middle. Okay? You do it a lot in topography, you do it a lot in civil engineering. It's called interpolation. I don't know, interpolation, yeah, interpolation. All right, so I've got, I know the middle here. So the middle over here, 16 to 25 is what? 9, half of 9 is 4.5. 4.5 is the square root of 20.5. Square root of 21 is equal to 4.5. Now I got to find the middle again because I don't have 21, I have what? 22, right? Well, where is 22? 22 is right here. So approximately, I would say 4.6. So somebody take the square root of 22, and what is it?
4.69.
Okay, so I'm off 1/10, okay? But as far as sketching, it doesn't matter. Now, if they want exact answers, remember, exact answers you can't do. You have to do with what? Radicals, okay? Approximate, that's when you have to actually do the 4.69, okay? That's when you have to do that. When they ask for an approximate answer, like when they ask for the solution, an approximate round to the nearest hundredth, then yes, you would have to type in the square root of 22 in your calculator. But for sketching, you can use the interpolation. Like, what is the square root of 16 to 21 is what? 5? Half of 5 is 2.5. So 2.5 is the square root of 19. So the square root of 19 is probably 4.25. Somebody tell me what the square root of 19 is. Probably 4.3.
4.35.
So does that help answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there's two other answers. Let me just go ahead and give you this. All right. Let me just erase this. There's three answers that they will ask for. They will ask for, if you're sketching, to sketch the graph, then you just do, okay, the square root of 22 is around, I don't forget what I said, 4.6? What I said was?
4.6.
Okay, I just said 4.6. And then they'll ask for an approximate. And they'll tell you to round to a different, so somebody take the square root of 20, round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, round to the hundredth. What is the square root of 22? Calculator.
4.7.
4.7 because it's 4.69, isn't it?
Right.
Okay, 4.69, and I'm going to put 4.7 because it all depends on what they tell you to round to. And then if they tell you exact, that means they want you to write it in terms of a square root. So that's going to be square root of 22 is equal to 2 times the square root of 11. And that's really nothing you can do. I thought I was going to be able to do something with it, but you can't. So square root of 22 will be your answer because you can't break up the square root of 22. So that's it. All right? And I guarantee you about 3 or 4 people had that same question, but they don't ask. So let's clear this and let's go to another question. I know I'm running out of time, so we'll be all right. I don't forget what time it is. What time is it? Where's my... Let me make sure, because some people will start going into convulsions. We still got time. All right, so that's that one. Let's go with this one right here. This one says 3.2, number 67/21. Okay, we did one like that. Okay, I'm gonna move on to another one maybe. This one's 9.3. Oh, that's 111. God, I've got another 111 question. I can't believe it. 3.2, 63/19. That's a test question. Now, it may not be worded like that, but this right here, I want you to complete the square with that right there. So I'm going to write it on the board for you, and then we'll talk about it. S is equal to negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 12. And of course, I want to know the x-intercepts. Negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 12. And I'm going to turn that around. And I'm going to go negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 12 is equal to 0. And all I did, this is your seesaw. Jody's over here, Susie's over here. I just put this one over here, and I put this one over here. As long as I move both sides, I don't have to change the signs. The only time you change the sign is when you move one over to the other side. Okay, I just want to remind everybody of that. So negative 16t squared plus 64t plus blank is equal to negative 12 plus blank. And I'm going to factor out for you negative 16, and that's going to give you t squared minus what? 4t plus blank is equal to negative 12 plus negative 16 times blank. And always remember, whatever you factor out, you have to multiply by the right side blank. Now I'm going to let y'all complete the square. That means you got to divide 4. I thought your boots were brown yesterday. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Guys don't do that. Guys don't. I thought you. Guys just wear the same thing over and over. Oh.
You have a work email.
And I don't know if I heard tapping on the calculator. Do you need a calculator on this? No. Because 4 divided by 2 is what? And 2 squared is what? And if you're having to use a calculator to do that, then we have a drooling problem. Okay? 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So that's going to give you negative 16 t minus 2 quantity squared is equal to, I have no idea, so I'm just going to write negative 12 minus 64. Y'all check me. Is it 64? And that's going to give you negative 16 times t minus 2 quantity squared is equal to negative 12 minus 64 is negative 76.
Yep.
Now I'm going to erase all this over here. That's going to give you negative 16 times t minus 2 quantity squared is equal to negative 76. Divide, okay, the vertex is positive 2, comma 76. So divided by negative 16. Somebody divide 76 by negative 16. Tell me what you get. Dang old 6? No. I don't think it's going to be even, is it? I'm sorry, what?
4.79.
Okay, so we're gonna break it down to a fraction because I don't wanna deal with the calculator. So, divide by 2, and that's gonna give you what? 38 over what? Negative, that'd be 38 over 8. Somebody help me out. And then that would be 19 over what?
4.
There we go. Now we got it something we can work with. Dang old 6th grade math. Okay? Because we don't want our brain to become, drool material. So take the square root of both sides. And that's going to give you t minus 2 is equal to the square root of 19 over 2. Now, let's go do the square root of 19. Square root of 16, square root of 25. Well, the square root in the middle right here was the square root of 20.5. So the square root of 19 is right below 20. So I would say probably 3.35. But what is, 4.35? What is the square root of 19?
That's right.
Of course it is. 4.35 plus 2 over 2. Now, we really got to use the calculator here because this is some really deep math here. $4.35 plus $2 is $6.35. What's half of $6.35? Dang old $3.17?
Yep.
Hopefully some of y'all are starting to see why people can't do math in the real world. They can't do real math in the real world because their brain has been in a cast. All right, negative 4.35. You owe somebody $4.35. You owe somebody $4.35. Miss Hawthorne, I owe Miss Hawthorne $4.35. If I give her $2, what do I still owe her?
$2.35.
It's a miracle.
Honest, God.
What'd he say? What'd you say?
Want a scholarship?
I know. Tell you what, dang old, you want a free college education? Go to Yale. Dang old gender studies. Get like $500,000 worth of dang old government pay for it. All right. So we've got a drawing here, and 2 and 76. That's going to be way up here. We've got a y-intercept of what? Y-intercept of 12. X-intercept of negative 2.3. And a positive of 3. Something like that. Now, it takes blah, blah, blah seconds to reach the height of 40 feet. Okay, so we got to set y is equal to what? 40. Doop. And there's y is equal to 40, so you need to do that in your calculator and find those two spots. So if somebody put y is equal to 40 and then put this in your calculator and tell me where they intersect. And you need to hurry because you got 3 minutes before people start self-exploding.
I got different X for the negative number. I got negative 1.17.
Okay, then okay, that's right. 1 point what?
1.17.
Okay, 1.17. Did y'all get negative 1.17? Yeah, that's half of, I don't know what I was thinking of. Okay, I was thinking of $4. Evidently I was thinking of 4. So negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. Yes. Negative 1.75. Okay, so it's still right there. So it doesn't really, thank you for finding that though. Somebody, what is the intersection points? I better just go ahead and do it because they won't tell me they do have it. Take me forever on this thing with all the writing that's in front of it. Okay, I'm just going to erase mine. Y'all got it written down. I'm going to erase it because there's no way I can type it with all that junk on there. Clear. I know what time it is. Nobody's going to blow up. All right, clear. And that's going to be negative 16 t squared. (16x squared) plus 64t plus 12.
Message coming in on secured channel.
This thing's like pushing a wet noodle. There. Is it in there? I hope it's in there. Oh no, this thing's kind of... And then here, type in 40. Was it 40? And graph, and of course it's not going to show it. Let me do a zoom standard. Should be able to get it. Zoom standard or zoom fit, whichever one you want to try. I don't know why it's not doing. Let me do zoom fit. There it is. Now zoom window and zoom into that area right up here and get the x-intercepts. Do it. Crap. Yep, it's not going to do it, so I got to go zoom out. Just give me a second. I'm trying to get the answer for you. There it is. And 40 and the 2 spots, second, calculate and go to the intersection and first curve, last curve, and then I'm going to put, here's one of them, so there's 3.5. So at 3.5 seconds is 40 feet, and then the other one, second, trace, intersect, and I'm going to go over here and type in enter, and 0.5 seconds. So at 0.5 seconds, it's at 40 feet, and at whatever, what was the other one? 3.5 seconds, it's at 40 feet. Now you can do that also by setting equal. 40 is equal to 12 plus 64t minus 16t squared and solve it. Okay? So that's 3 or 4 questions. We'll continue with questions on Thursday. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
Mr.
See what happens when you communicate?
Mr. McClure?
Yes, sir. Hubert.
Hubert, I got a email that said I missed a day in class.
Ignore those. Those are stupid. Ignore them. Somebody wants a job, so just ignore them. You're here, aren't you? You're working, aren't you?
Yeah.
The only person that can drop you is you or me. So, unless it says, from Hubert, you suck, you are out of my class, then you need to worry about it.
All right.
See y'all.
Have a good day.
No, nothing's due. I'm gonna reset.
So test is Thursday, is that right?
No, we're going to keep going over problems because I got about 6 or 8 more problems to go over.
All right, so next week?
Yeah, probably next week. How you feeling on completing square? You got it?
I'm getting a lot better at it. The day helped a lot more.
It kind of helps when people ask questions, doesn't it?
When you ask questions, yes, sir.
It's a miracle.
Have a good